Today's social media segment is brought to you by Parabon General Health Systems. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, we are back on Bayou Time. I'm Martin Falls, and we are glad you are with us because we have the new sheriff of St. Mary Parish, and there you see him on the desk, Sheriff Gary Driscoll. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And good to meet you. And of course, we have our young anchor of the day. His mom put up the money, won an auction at St. Matthew's. Enzo Echegary, he's a fourth grader, and he's been joining us all day on the news desk to learn about the anchor business and the news business. So Enzo, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
All right, so you've been with a police chief, a sheriff now, and it's been a pretty good day, right?
The best news day.
All right, well, that's good. All right, we get to hear from the new sheriff, and first of all, congratulations. I know took office a little sooner than expected, so I know that comes with some different emotions, but just tell us a little bit about yourself so the audience, too, seeing you for the first time, can learn a little bit about our neighbors to the west.
Sounds good. My name is Gary Driscoll. I was born and raised in St. Mary Parish. I started my law enforcement career in 1986 in the United States Army as a military policeman. Spent a few years there and then began in law enforcement at the sheriff's office in 1990 and been doing law enforcement ever since. I've come up through the ranks, started off in the jail, patrol, narcotics, detectives, was supervisor in each one of those divisions, and ran for sheriff. And unfortunately, our sheriff was ill and passed away.
Yeah. You bring up the Army. First of all, thank you for your service. How long were you in the Army?
I served in the Army 3 years, and then I went to reserves.
Yeah.
It was funny. I started working at the sheriff's office for a whole month and was called back to active duty for Desert Storm, Desert Shield. So, and then after I returned, I went back to the sheriff's office.
Yeah. What did the Army teach you? Because I've heard so many stories about that discipline of the Army, and in getting out of the Army, I guess what would be a benefit to you for the rest of your life and sort of put you in that line of work. How did that transition go?
Oh, going into the Army was one of the most proudest things I've ever done. It was an honor to serve my country. My family was a military type family. My father served, my older brother served. But it was a lot of discipline. And it taught me values and different things. It taught me never to ask my men to do something I was not willing to do myself. And it taught me honor. So.
Yeah. And of course, then you went into the ranks, and talk about your early years on the police force and how it all led to this.
Well, I started off in the jail, like I said, and stayed there a few years. You got to learn some harsh lessons in the jail with people that you deal with. And on patrol, it was a lot better. You got to meet people and interact with people. And I loved that about the job, just going door to door and talking to people and seeing what we could do to help them. And eventually I was a supervisor into that, went into narcotics, where I worked all over the state of Louisiana, and then into administration. And once I was in administration, I really set goals of being the sheriff one day, and it paid off.
Yeah. Were you born in Morgan City?
I was born and raised in Morgan City, yes, sir.
Tim Hemel?
Oh, yes, I
He
know
was in
Tim.
my journalism class at Nichols, and Kenny Alford.
Coach, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was in his algebra class, and of course, he coached baseball and football right there at Morgan City High. Yes.
Yeah, and Tim was a great pitcher.
Yes.
Pitched at Nichols State for a long time. And, you know, we don't get to visit as much with St. Mary Parish as we do in Houma because we're based out of Houma, but occasionally we get there. But tell us a little bit about the makeup of St. Mary Parish, and what's some of the challenges that you see as sheriff, is it the same kind of challenges we have in Terrebonne and Lafourche?
It is. We're all neighbors, and I know all those sheriffs very well. Been knowing them for many, many years, and we have the same challenges as everyone else. The hiring, keeping up with the times. We try our best to come up with new ways and better ways to serve our people that we're protecting, and sometimes that's difficult. Financially, we started off about $500,000 in the hole. And right now, last year, we finished a little over 1.3 million in the black. Mm-hmm. So we've turned a lot of things around and have been able to do a lot of things for the people that we serve and the deputies, giving them pay raises and equipment that's actually needed to go out and protect and serve and investigate.
It's more than law enforcement, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Got to be a CPA sometimes.
Without a doubt. But you got to surround yourself with good people, which I've done. And we listen. I listen. And if you have any doubts, you go to the right people, and they'll steer you in the right direction.
Yeah. All right. So I want to go to Enzo. We're going to take our break right now. We're going to come back with another segment with the sheriff. But I want you to look at your camera right there, and I want you to say, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with the sheriff of St. Mary. Just say deep breath, and you can always take and say, we'll be right back with the sheriff of St. Mary.
We will be right back
With the sheriff
with the sheriff
of St. Mary.
of St. Mary.
There you go. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, we're back, and we're joined by Sheriff Gary Driscoll of St. Mary Parish, and we certainly are having a good time with our anchor of the day also, Enzo Echegari. He is from St. Matthew's in the 4th grade, and he's been patiently listening, so he gets to ask a question at the end of this segment. But Sheriff, let's talk about some of the outside things that you all do. I remember growing up as a youngster, we were so thrilled when the police would come to schools or do different things, or a sheriff deputy would show up, or the sheriff, for that matter. Y'all do a lot of that in St. Mary, do you?
We do. We love it. It's all about community policing and getting out and meeting people that you serve. And we just want to get out and show these guys, these young men and women that's going to school, that you can trust the police. And if you ever need help, you can count on us. And we go in a lot of schools, and we'll play basketball, kickball. The other day we played volleyball. And it's just a great thing. The smiles on these kids' faces, ear to ear, and the deputies love it. And we have a great time doing that.
And it helps your deputies stay in shape, too.
It does. It does. Some of us are not in the best of shape, not unless round is the shape.
Yeah, but you're an Army guy. I bet you try to stay in shape a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm right there with them. If they're playing kickball, I'm playing kickball. If it's basketball, I'm playing basketball. So
Right.
I definitely join in on the fun, and it's great. It's great for the communities.
Like I said, when we were going to school, we were not as intelligent as the Enzos and all that are going to school now. They are so advanced. There's so much technology. There's so much different things, which is good and bad at the same time. When you're dealing with Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all those things, TikTok, there's all kind of things that can influence a young man or a young woman. Is this what y'all try to sort of keep them on the straight and narrow?
Yes. Any social media, as you know, it will have some truth and some lies. And I have a young son, and he'll come up to me and say, "Oh, I heard this on Facebook, and this is completely out of bounds." And you have to sit down with them and teach them the right ways and explain to them everything that you see on these social media pages may not be the truth. Yeah. And it's just all about educating.
Mm-hmm. You talk about your family, a lot of sacrifices when you become a sheriff's deputy, a lot of sacrifices being an Army person, now a lot of sacrifices being a sheriff.
Yes, it is. You're always on the go. Your phone's always ringing, but that's part of the job. It's something I've been doing for many, many years. If I can help people, I don't mind. I get those phone calls in the middle of the night. My wife might not like it too much, but she understands, and she's great. So she has supported me throughout this whole ordeal, and she understands what comes with the job.
Yeah. Enzo, I know you just dying to ask the sheriff a question over there, so have at it.
So you're sheriff, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're my cousin's husband is in New Orleans, and he's a cop. So the sheriff is the boss of my cousin's wife.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's the sheriff, so he has a lot of people that work under him. So he's an administrator too, just like your principal at St. Matthew. He's like the principal of everybody that works under him. Make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So how's it feel to be the principal of the law enforcement?
At times it feels great. When I'm out there with the communities, that's what I love the most. Mm-hmm. Of course, doing this job, it has some bad things too. Solving homicides and things of that nature is the bad side. But I really focus on community policing. I love it, and I think we're having great support from the communities and the people that we serve with that.
Yeah, and did you play sports in high school?
I did. I played football, and growing up playing baseball, football was my sport.
Yeah. What year did you graduate?
86.
Yeah.
Of course, there's two things I always wanted to do, is either play football or be a police officer. And when I graduated high school, I was 168 pounds, and I didn't think LSU would take me, maybe as a water boy, but not as a football player.
But you play linebacker?
I played linebacker.
You look like a linebacker.
And
that's
defensive end. And when I went in the military, that's where I gained all my weight, and I went from 168 to about 210 in a matter of months. Yeah. They worked you hard.
Yeah. I could tell linebackers when I see them.
Oh, linebackers.
That rugged,
linebackers the best job to have on a football field.
I would agree. That's second tier.
That's right.
You can see what happens on the line, and then you could react and do your thing. Who was coaching y'all back then?
Kenny Offer was part of it.
Yeah.
Mike McHugh.
Yeah.
All those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and I remember Berwick had some pretty good teams too. So
yes,
those Robichaux brothers.
Yes, and here lately they've been doing really well. Their baseball team won the championship.
Huh? Lud
Henry, yes.
It's another one. And I played against Lud.
Oh yeah.
I was at Vanderbilt. He was at Berwick, and just some great talent. But isn't St. Mary sort of it's the hidden parish sometimes? It seems to not get the publicity it deserves, but it's a great place to be, isn't it?
It is. It's great. It's small towns, in communities throughout the whole parish. But there's so much that goes on there, a lot of community events, and everybody sticks together so much. And this bonds, it's just unbelievable how nice it is to live in St. Mary.
Yeah, Sheriff, real quick, we got about 50 seconds left. Any goals you have as sheriff that you want to see?
Well, we're going to continue to build on what we have already. Like I said, we was $500,000 in the hole just a few years ago, and working with Blaze and everyone else, we climbed out of that hole. And we're going to continue to do better for our communities. We're going to better equip our deputies. We're going to continue doing the community policing and just keep moving forward and looking at goals and setting other goals so that we can serve our people better.
All right. Sheriff, good seeing you.
Good seeing you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Enzo? Yep. We're going to let you take us to the break, okay? So I want you to look at that camera and just say, we'll be back after a short commercial break.
We'll be back after this short commercial break.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Parabon General Health Systems. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford Tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.